I'm Karen Varga with CEAg World Greenhouse Produce, an innovative brand that engages with the rapidly expanding global greenhouse produce industry through a variety of platforms. Our mission is to educate and connect greenhouse produce growers and industry allies to help them better understand and sustainably advance the global food industry. On today's episode of CEAg Talks, I'll be once again speaking with Gretchen Schimelpfenig. Gretchen is a senior energy engineer at Energy Resources Integration, ERI, a clean energy consulting firm developing a sustainable future for our planet through cost-effective energy management. Gretchen is also the executive director of Cornell University's Greenhouse Lighting and Systems Engineering, GLASE, which is an academic consortium pioneering climate-smart agricultural technology demonstrations and workforce development. Gretchen, welcome back to CEAg Talks.
Thanks for having me again.
So in a previous video, we had discussed GLASE's short course and the importance of continuing education in the greenhouse industry. And today we're focusing on a little bit of a different initiative, which is a GLASE initiative called Vivid Canopy. So Gretchen, what is Vivid Canopy and how did it come to be?
For me, Vivid Canopy came to be through some conversations that I was having with growers at Cultivate. And we were at a networking event hosted by Horde Americas, and I was talking with some growers representing some diverse communities, and they felt like they hadn't really met any growers that have similar lived experiences or, think like them, look like them, and have lived like them. And so I talked with them about how GLASE is a public-private partnership and has a membership model already, and that we have individual members, and that I thought that this could be an opportunity for GLASE to extend its workforce development and networking missions and achieve something that is very important to me in the CEA industry, which is to foster and celebrate diversity. And what does that mean? Ultimately, I think it means that we need to transform the greenhouse and indoor farming workforce to truly represent the world that we live in and not just represent a particular community of people.
For sure. And what goals does Vivid Canopy have?
We've got a few. So there's some goals that are relevant to CEA companies, and there's some goals that are relevant to, individuals working in the CEA industry. So one of them is to drive awareness of the challenges that diverse professionals face in the CEA industry. Like my friends talking about how they haven't met perhaps another grower like them. Create transparency among employers to prove that their strategies to improve representation of diverse populations in their workplace are actually happening. So if particular organizations join Vivid Canopy, we encourage them to share how the demographics of their workforce are diverse and how, if they're not, say, achieving their target of diversity today, how they plan to, and over the course of many years, show us that they're continuously improving. We, at the individual level, want to foster connections between diverse individuals in the CEA industry, which we want to do with live events and online networking. We want to enable diverse hiring decisions, so generating more hiring opportunities for underrepresented communities, getting underrepresented individuals in front of employers that are looking for diverse candidates. And then ultimately enable attendees of our networking events to share experience, connect on a personal level, collaborate, and hopefully have more connections after the show via those online resources. So those are some of our goals. We tried to keep it smart and kind of concise, but they're also pretty audacious. We want to see companies change what they do over time.
And what advantages would there be to a company to have a more diverse workforce?
That's a great question, and it really came up in our panelists' talk at Indoor AgCon. There's a workforce challenge happening in the CEA industry. We need more workers, and we don't have enough, perhaps, young people ready to enter this workforce and skilled to enter this workforce. And one of the panelists, Vertical Harvest, Nona Yehia, spoke about how seeking out from the disabled people community, she has a whole extra part of the workforce that she can draw from. And when she builds farms and communities, she can hire from that community itself. And so skilling up different communities that may have been overlooked is one of the ways that I think that businesses can succeed by pursuing this challenge.
That's great. And who supports Vivid Canopy's efforts at this point?
So, of course, our founding organizations include our panelists like Vertical Harvest, Dr. Greenhouse, and Scout Strategy. We also appreciate the Women in CEA Network for being a sort of founding partner and our moderator of the Indoor AgCon panel and roundtable. And we also appreciate Indoor AgCon for being one of our first events. We also have had with our founders, Eden Green Technology being not only a founding organization, but also kind of like a founding creator of Vivid Canopy. But GLASE and Eden Green essentially created Vivid Canopy together, along with Cam, who used to be at Eden Green, is now at Tarrant County College. So that's one of our kind of other partners, which we're hoping to connect to more as community colleges, along with, of course, GLASE's home, Cornell University.
Absolutely. So who can join Vivid Canopy and what exactly does that entail?
Anyone can join Vivid Canopy in a certain way to some extent, and then deeper engagement will probably be something that involves individual GLASE membership. Right now, what we're doing is showcasing Vivid Canopy through industry events people might already be attending and therefore can attend and sort of dip a toe in the water, no cost, no investment. But you can also join the LinkedIn group and engage with Vivid Canopy online. Our goal is to have some member benefits over time as the community grows, and perhaps have things like job boards, mentorship programs, and other sort of in-person experiences. For right now, though, the message is that we want people to learn about Vivid Canopy, join the LinkedIn group, and when you see a Vivid Canopy at a CEA event, hopefully maybe CEAg World's upcoming event, that you consider participating. Everyone is welcome. This is not a group that is distinct of only a certain type of person can join. Ultimately, pretty much everyone has a diversity characteristic, and we're looking to find ways to connect people, including BIPOC CEA professionals, women in CEA, LGBTQ+, disabled people. There's so many different types of diversity metrics, and I think that people should feel welcome to join and be an ally, or to join and maybe share their own personal story.
That's awesome. So, can you tell me a little bit about what Vivid Canopy has accomplished so far? You've mentioned a couple of times in an indoor AgCon session, and I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit more about that.
Sure. We were really privileged to have the ability to kind of squeeze in an indoor AgCon session. After coming up with Vivid Canopy in the summer, we were able to have Indoor AgCon host us just this past couple weeks in March 2024. It was a session that was a panel as well as a roundtable discussion. So people were able to hear from some leaders in the CEA industry chatting about perhaps how they have chosen to have diversity as part of the culture of their company, or perhaps how they feel like diversity is a aspect that allows them to solve CEA challenges better or with different solutions. And then we had an hour-long roundtable discussion where folks split up into smaller groups, like I mentioned, in sort of affinity groups, and talked about some of the success stories and some of the challenges maybe that community experiences in particular. And so we had about 50 people come, about 30 people stayed around for the roundtable discussion, and we're hoping to build upon that with events, probably 3 to 4 events every year. Some of them, informal, more like happy hour events, or some of them a little more focused, like those roundtables or panels. So that's what we've accomplished so far. And I would say that with that event, we spurred conversation. We celebrated some joyful moments. We connected a lot of people who might not have connected on this topic before. And I would say that some of the people that I spoke to about the event said that, like, this event needed this. That, there's, when you look around in some of these events, there's perhaps some homogenous things happening, some homogenous thoughts, some homogenous appearances. And so it's nice to have what I think we accomplished was creating a place that truly felt safe and like people felt like they could belong. And, I'm not completely entirely sure how we did that, but we're going to continue to strive to do that with our next events and replicate that. And we hope to bring other people along with us.
Yeah, what was really neat about the networking event that Vivid Canopy hosted, that I was fortunate enough to be able to attend, was just hearing the experiences from those panelists and hearing about how, with their diverse backgrounds, they were fitting into, as you were saying, kind of a more homogenous community of people, and their experiences around that, and some of the amazing things they were able to accomplish, and some of the roadblocks that were put up in the way. And I thought it was very inspiring. And if somebody else was going through something similar, but maybe hadn't heard a similar story, I felt like that was a great connection point. So I thought you guys did it was a job well done.
Thanks very much. Yeah, we were thrilled with how it was received, and couldn't have expected it to go better given the sort of short notice most people had already maybe planned on attending some other things in the program. So we were able to draw attention and get people interested. And we now have around 100 members in the LinkedIn group, and it's a global group. So we're excited to build on that and hopefully see some exponential increase over the course of the year. So thanks for asking about this initiative. And we hope to, like you mentioned, make an impact with each event that we're doing.
That's great. And so just to recap, if somebody would like more information about Vivid Canopy, where should they go? Who should they talk to?
Mm-hmm. So GLASE, which is glase.org, has a page under our About dropdown for Vivid Canopy, which has a link to the LinkedIn group as well as our press release. It'll have a link to any upcoming events where we're going to be doing live sessions. And of course, if you're on LinkedIn and you search for Vivid Canopy, you can find that in groups. And we hope to see you online or in person. And you can, of course, reach out to me personally through my GLASE email, ges252@cornell.edu.
That's wonderful. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Vivid Canopy has in store for the future. Thanks so much for being on CEAg Talks again, Gretchen.
Thanks, Karen.